let's talk about this. This is weird. Okay, I just saw this and I realize it's an Asian game, but like, look at this.
367. They are
Whoa,
pragmatic.
whoa, hang on a second. Don't you have a name or something? Good. Get behind me!
I think I can help.
Targets identified. Neutralizing threats.
Neutralize us?
Looks like we're gonna have to fight our way through. What the?
Bypassing first and second firewalls. Hooking control protocols. Initiating hack.
Hey, D.I.
I said I am D.
Okay. Look, how about we call you Diana?
Diana?
Look, I'm not one. I don't want to be that guy because I know a lot of you are probably interested in stuff like this. But what the fuck? I feel like when Asian people make a game, sometimes there is a certain level of weird. And this hit that. This hit that for me, okay? Have I ever said in my head, I wish there was a little weird ass robot slash tiny child that I want to ride on my back as I fight robots in space, I would assume. No, not really. Not really ever. The voices alone, good lord. Initiating hack. Like I can't. Like I can't. Like I can't. I realize that some of you are different from me, but I can't. I realize that it might be, what they're trying to play here. It's like, it's like heartwarming, and he's like saving her, and it's this thing, and they're friends, and it's like, oh, they meet, and they, okay, not me, not this guy. And anytime you put a childlike thing in a game that's not really a child, let's be honest, it's fucking problematic. But everyone's going to judge me for pointing that out, but the internet does not lie, okay? All I'm going to say is this. What does it have to do with the game? Nothing. It's just a criticism of the storyline. Like, in my mind, I like different stuff. I like 80s badass fantasy horror, like before we started like really focusing on like weird ass kid stuff. When I think about like a game that I want to play, I want to be a badass guy with a fucking sword and a sick set of armor. Like, I don't know. Like most of the fucking MMOs that used to be around. Not anymore. The new MMOs, you play tiny little girls in like a school or something where you learn magic. Okay, like I don't know. Whatever that one weird one is. They're all weird. I don't know how to say it, but guys, I think we have a problem in society. Now I get it. This might be a totally wholesome experience. It does sound like the acting for the guy, he's like talking into a fucking mason jar, I guess. It's got the mason jar effect. And you could be like, well, he's in a suit. It's like, yeah, but it's a game. They can just do whatever they want, right? We're not going to know the difference. I don't like that effect. I'll say this. I know that some of you are excited. In fact, I don't have to guess. Ah, see right here. It reminds me of Bioshock's Big Daddy and Little Sister. except they're the protagonist. Yeah. And I'm sure it does remind you of that. Yeah, I thought he was going to say Dio too. I thought that's what was going to happen. Yeah, Pedro Pascal's next role? Absolutely. Absolutely. Megan 3.0 in space. Bioshock plus God of War. Not really. I just, is it like Bioshock? And this is what I was saying just a minute ago. So judge me if you want. Is it like Bioshock? No, not really, in the sense that those little girls weren't exactly helpless, and they had a big fucking badass thing to protect them, you know? But even I thought that even back then, I was like, yeah, it's a little weird. I don't know why they went that route, because they could have done anything. When you look at Bioshock as a game, they could have done anything they wanted to, but they decided to revolve it around that whole Big Daddy, Little Sister thing. And believe me, I was younger back then when that came out. We made jokes. Don't you think we didn't make jokes? Because it was weird. But everyone wants to pretend like if you talk about something that you're the weirdo. It's like, I'm not talking about it because I'm weird. I'm talking about it because it, quite frankly, it's, you know, when I talk about something that annoys me, it's not that I'm that guy. That wouldn't make any sense. Everyone nowadays has that thing where it's like, well, if you hate something, that means you are it. And I'm like, that doesn't work like that. Resident Evil 2 Revelations. Looks interesting. Everyone's commenting the Bioshock thing. The girl in the blue coat reminds me of the character Freerun. Yeah, that's another one that they did that too. Although they didn't age her down quite as much. They did make her like naive and like weird. Yeah, it's all just talking about Bioshock. Now this game might come out and it might be like a total shitfest. But knowing most people, this is the new thing that's popular. And I can't be counted among them. Okay? You know, it's like if I played stuff like Dynasty Warriors, for example, and you have the badass dudes and you're like fucking people up and you know, I tend to fall more toward that than I do wanting to be a little girl robot. I don't know. Crazy. I know it's crazy, but let's just assume that in this day and age, I am not the target market anymore, okay? Let's just assume that. I think even back then when Resident Evil, because they're talking about that, when Resident Evil came out, right? You had to escort the president's daughter. I can handle that. That's fine. You're playing a dude. You got to save this girl. It's not the same relationship as this. It's not the same dynamic. There are subtle differences. But that's still Asian, and they still have that savior kind of like sacrificing yourself for the other person trope. You know, whereas we in America have like stuff like Crackdown, where you're just fucking murdering people because you're a cop, right? You know, there's a big difference. There's a big difference across the ocean. And if you look at a lot of anime, that's why I can't watch a lot of anime, because the storylines don't permit it. Yeah, see, this guy's pointing out the same thing. Genshin Impact, that's the one I was trying to think of before. Like, I would never play Genshin Impact. I know that some people would, but I fucking can't. Now, I'm not saying that this is wholly and exactly like that, but I will say that I don't know. I don't hang out with the people that they make this stuff for. I also don't. I'm not the guy that they make this stuff for. So I can't understand the stuff behind it. Like, I can't understand why it resonates with people. But like, I've known a few dudes like that, you know, because that's what I try to do. I try to put myself in the perspective of like, who is this for? What should the commentary be? Because here's the thing. You know, this channel isn't just, oh, I hate things. It's also, I love things. And I do love video games, but I don't like the direction that we're headed in. I've got one friend that in my mind, him watching this, he'd be like, oh my God, she's so cute. And I just, for me, when I think about it, I'm like, that's not why I play video games. To have a weird savior complex in a video game. I don't do that. Dead Space with your own baby Grogu. That's actually fucking hilarious, dude. Yeah, but anyway, look, I know that these games are popular though, so I'll end it there. I don't want to get a lot of shit for this video like I do sometimes. But anyway, leave a comment. I answer every single comment. Thank you. Have a good one. See you in the next one.